Well, here we are about halfway through our somewhere else roadie for this summer. We've got about 6,500 miles on our 1973 Argosy 18-foot trailer. And we thought we'd reflect a little bit on what has worked and what hasn't worked in the camper and try to get some pictures. I know that a few of you have been interested in what the bunks look like and what we've done with the front of the thing and all that. I'll try to get some pictures. It's hard to get pictures in here because it is quite small and there's no way that you can really get a perspective on it. But we're going to give it a shot. I'm going to start with taking some pictures actually from inside the front window. That's the only way you can see the whole camper. And then I'll come take a couple pictures of the bunks and the way Elaine has made it look so nice and kept it so nice and all that. And we'll chat a little bit about what works and what doesn't work. The sun's a little low there in the Black Hills on the horizon. This is one gorgeous night. Gorgeous night. What a place. But we're outside the camper looking in the front window, and it's almost the only way you can get a real perspective. You can see the bunks that I put in there. I'll get a better shot in a minute. And my side of the camper here, that's sort of the driver's side. And I've got a bunch of pictures of Clay and Sue and the boys up there. And then over here, I've got a collage of pictures of Elaine and I and some of our best times. We have the hanging lamp, and then this is looking over toward Elaine's side of it. Here we have our Bose speaker system and the computer table. We both have our computers up, and that's pretty handy, but as you might guess, a little crowded. Back in there toward the galley area. And then we have that mirror on the bathroom door. And here you got just a little bit of a shot of the bunks, but I'll go in and do a better job at that. So when this thing was made, it had a fold-out bed in it, as was the case in the 1970s, because all the camper dealers like to talk about how many people the thing would sleep. Well, that didn't work all that great. When I got it, those cushions were in terrible condition. Plus, when you pulled the bed out, it came out and almost touched the refrigerator, which is right here. I mean, you could just get through. You couldn't open the refrigerator. And Elaine and I got to thinking, our sleeping habits are so different. I mean, she has to sleep during the day. I'm up early in the morning and normally take a nap. And I learned in submarine days the best way to deal with people on different work schedules and sleep schedules and all that is to have bunks. So when we were in Florida, I took out the bed, put these bunks in. Elaine's storage area is in those cupboards down below. She has slide out drawers there. And I have a rack of clothes back behind the beds. I'll show you in a minute. On the back wall there, I put a pegboard for all the cooking utensils, and that's worked out pretty good. This side, that is the port side of the camper, is pretty much left alone. We put this rack here for our brochures and all that sort of stuff. But the refrigerator and the sinks, you know, got my coffee maker and all that. That's pretty much the same as it was. And again, the mirror on the sliding pocket bathroom door is pretty helpful. Standing back toward the bathroom looking forward. Now when this thing was made, like all the campers of the time, it had this little settee, breakfast nook kind of thing. Couple points about that. That was made for people a lot skinnier than me. And it isn't comfortable. I ripped that out and I built this I don't know what you call it, desk, whatever, a couple of years ago, long before I put the bunks in. I designed this so that this table right here could be lifted up, hinged up, and gotten out of the way. So there's room for an inflatable bunk there. So in case I get the opportunity to take Isaac and Lucas out or whatever, I can fold that up, get it out of the way, and take them with me. Got these two office chairs. Works out pretty good. It's a little cramped. Over on my side, it's a little bit more cramped. Again, here's the pictures and all. But being left-handed as I am, I sort of need that side of the desk area as a writing surface. Basically worked out pretty good. I really like these bunks. I put in the bunks. I'm pretty happy with the woodwork. It worked out pretty well. But what really made it was Elaine pretty much insisted on buying these, I don't know what you call them, coverlets or whatever, quilts, whatever. But it just makes the place look so nice. And she's very, very, I don't know if the right word, fastidious, whatever. About every day she gets up and makes up those bunks, and it feels very homey. Looking down on the floor, before we left I put in a new tile floor, and that real nice for keeping it clean and all that. And then had a carpet made special. By the way, these mattresses we also had to have special made because they're only 30 inches wide. Very convenient. Lady in Florida we had made these curtains for us. Because again, we sleep at different times and we need our privacy and stuff like that. So we can close off each of the bunks like that, and it looks and feels real nice. And again, we had this carpet specially made and sized so that when necessary we can just take outside and clean it up and hose it off. Pretty happy with it. My desk unit is split. There's several big cracks in it. I don't know if that's from being on the road. I don't know if I simply didn't put enough reinforcing under it or whatever. But that's split, and I'll probably redo that as a project. It's a little bit tight, not too bad. On my side, since I put the bunk in, it's a little tight. But again, living like this in an 18-foot space, you'd expect it to be a little tight. But when I remake it, I'll probably do this front a little bit different. Everything else is working great. The water tank under there, it's visible since I ripped out all that front stuff. So I can see how much water I have and how clean it is and how I got to treat it. I'm happy with the pictures that we have. I'm real happy with the cooking. We don't cook all that much. We have our own routine for breakfast and lunch with, she has her breakfast schedule, I have mine, and we do that. And then we usually have snacky stuff for lunch. And quite most of the time we go out for dinner, eat sort of light, so I don't do all that much cooking. But every once in a while when you're in the mood for breakfast at night and, you know, pancakes at night and stuff like that, it comes in pretty handy. Actually, tonight we had a pork chop dinner that went over pretty good. We're pretty happy with it. This air conditioning system, we had that put in just before we left. That set me back $1,000, but that has been worth twice that easily. Again, I'll open these curtains back up. These bunks are so nice. I really was concerned that I'd be claustrophobic in the upper bunk here because, as you can see, there's not a whole lot of room. But I can lay on my side and look out that window, and that is just great. That is one of the most comfortable sleeping arrangements I've ever had. We get down here and take a look at Elaine's bunk. She has a little bit more space than me, but that's not for me. She likes the lower bunk, and I'm real happy that she does. Okay, so that's about it. For the most part, it's worked great. A few problems, nothing major. And when we get done, we'll catch you up toward the end of it and give another review. Thank you, darling. Turn it off.